What's up, boys and gerbils? It's Bear with BearIndependent.com. Today, we are going to be discussing your food storage strategy for 2021. Now, what does the Apostle John admonish us in 1 John? I give you no new word, but the word that you've had from the beginning. I'm not going to tell you anything new here, but I am going to try to succinctly state what I do and how I do it for you, so that hopefully you can apply these lessons to you in your life. So the first is the 7 meals plan, and the next is grains, the 4 grains. We're probably going to do grains first. Let's do that. So very simply, corn, rice, wheat, and beans. They all have approximately 1,600 calories per pound. However, they have different macronutrients. Corn has some fat in it where beans don't. Rice has no fat in it. Wheat, no fat in it, but different protein contents. Beans is, what am I, some redneck from the woods? What's going on here? Beans are going to have a higher protein content than wheat is, and they both have more protein than rice does. Okay, so macro calorie content and also micronutrients are going to vary from one to the next, but they all have approximately 1,600 calories per pound. Now, if you do the math and you stack up 750 pounds of grain per person per year, you come away with 3,277.18 calories per person per day. Interestingly enough, for a military-aged male between 16 and 35 years old engaged in strenuous activity, the number of calories that you need per day to not lose muscle mass is 3,200 calories per day. So put you right in the ballpark of 3,200 calories per day. Now, everybody's not a military-aged male, but I prepare for everybody as if they are because it gives me a little bit of headroom in my stockpile. Now, maybe your head exploded. Maybe you just went 750 pounds per person per year. Deep breaths there, kiddo. Deep breaths. It's going to be okay. This is, if you went to Costco or Sam's Club and you got 4 50-pound sacks of rice and 4 50-pound sacks of pinto beans, you're halfway there. You're halfway there. Corn is easy. Get feed corn from the feed store. Not deer corn, that's bottom of the barrel stuff. Feed corn from the feed store. Can you buy super expensive organic, blessed by some Tibetan monk on the side of a hill in the Himalayas? For sure. You're going to pay $97 a bag for it. Or you could go to the feed store and get it for $6 or $7 a bag. Feed corn. Yes, you should research nixtamalization, nixtamalization, nixtamalization. It's a thing. Do you need to know it? Only if the majority of your calories are coming from corn. Freeze up the B vitamins so you don't get pellagra, which causes you to die of diarrhea. It's pretty bad. But if most of your calories aren't coming from corn, then you don't really need to worry about it. This is something that they do south of the border in South America because a lot of their calories come from corn. Masa, tortillas, tamales, so forth and so on. So the 4 grains, 750 pounds total, about 175-ish pounds of each. Now, what if 182.5, I believe is the math on that. What if I'm allergic to gluten? Okay. Cut out the wheat, get 250 pounds of rice, 250 pounds of corn, 250 pounds of beans. I can't find wheat where I'm at. Then get 250 pounds of rice, 250 pounds of corn, 250 pounds of beans. I can't find corn where I'm at. Improvise, adapt, overcome. 750 pounds of grain per person per year. It's not that expensive, and you should get it now while it's not that expensive. Okay, so that's the 4 grains. We'll touch on what to do with those 4 grains in a moment. The next is the 7 meals plan. This is going to be shelf-stable food. You should already have 3 months or so of a working pantry in your home, meaning that if tomorrow the lights went out or there's an ice storm around you or a tornado or a nor'easter or a massive hurricane or volcano or mudslide or earthquake or whatever, You can't go to the store for a while? You should have 3 months of shelf-stable goods in your pantry. Yeah. Now you're going to add to that, you're going to identify 7 meals. Easy meals. You don't need to be a 4-star Michelin chef to prepare these meals. Why? Because time and calories matter in a survival scenario. Okay, we want it to be easy, like boil water or open can, put in pot, heat contents of pot. So examples of this would be spaghetti and meat sauce. For my family, it takes 2 pounds of spaghetti, 1 big jar of meat sauce, boom, Insta-meal, easy. So this means when I go to the store for a year's worth of spaghetti, I'm going to buy 104 pounds, 52 times 2, 52 weeks in a year, 2 pounds per week of spaghetti. Now, typically spaghetti's $1 a pound, but sometimes it goes on sale, it's 40 cents a pound. And so when it's 40 cents a pound, go buy 104 pounds of it. And for $42, you got your meal for the year, right? Same thing with the jars of sauce. Typically the jars of sauce are $3, but occasionally they're on sale for 97 cents. So I know in my mind, I'm hunting meat sauce. And when meat sauce is on sale, I go get 52 jars of it. Boom, 1 meal down. On to the next one. An easy one is white chicken chili. Canned chicken, a packet of chili seasoning, a can of chili beans, a can of regular red beans, kidney beans, whatever, dump in pot, warm up, boom, white chicken chili. I also like those little green chopped up chili things, chili verde, come in a little tiny jar. You know what I'm talking about. Dump one of those in there, good to go. Spoon some of that over some of the rice that you have from your 4 grains rather. Insta stretch, right? Maybe make some cornbread with that corn that you're going to grind up with your grinder. Fluff it with a little bit of flour. You have self-rising flour, maybe get some. Chemical leavenings like baking powder, baking soda, so forth and so on. Good to go. Make some cornbread. And now we're using our grains to stretch our 7 meals. If you do the 7 meals and the 4 grains, you're going to end up with somewhere around a year and a half worth of food. Now, benchmark is a year for serious preparedness in my mind. Like, yep, that's it. We anticipate a serious hiccup in the system. Drew Estates Tabak Especial. Es muy fabuloso. You need to determine whether or not you are necessarily concerned about a serious hiccup in the system. But I can tell you what, the end of 2019 and all of 2020 did nothing to build confidence for me in the system. So I'm more inclined to believe in a serious hiccup in the system than I was 18 months ago. To say, I'm definitely not less inclined. The system has not become more dependable to me, okay? And so it all comes down to, for me, identifying what the target looks like. What do I want to have? And as outlined earlier with the 4 grains and the 7 meals, I can now essentially meal prep. I know that if I'm going to do white chicken chili, I need 52 cans of red kidney beans, and I need 52 cans of jelly of chili beans. 52 cans of jelly beans might not be a bad idea, though. 52 packets of chili seasoning, 52 cans of canned chicken, so forth and so on. Now I'm making a list. So the mission is don't starve to death. The objectives are 4 types of grain, the 7 meals plan, and then the lines of effort are within our 7 meals plan. I know that I need to acquire 52 cans of canned chicken. This is a really good strategy to take once you identify what it is that you're trying to acquire, because when you go to the store, maybe you don't have the funds to buy 52 cans of canned chicken, but you might have the funds to buy 4 of them while you're there at the store and they've got them on the shelf, so you get 4. A strategy that I use is that I have notes in my phone, and I have a running inventory, a hit list of things that I need to get. And so, like, for example, one of the things I'm working on is my kids love those overstuffed beef ravioli, and I get the big family size can of it. Like if you were to brain somebody with it, you'd put them in a coma, you know, one of those massive things, looks like a freaking howitzer shell. One of those, right? Well, that's a meal. That means I need 52 of those. Scratch that off the list, right? Another strategy is canned soups, like chunky soups and Progresso soups over a bowl of rice. Doesn't sound like much, but I'm telling you what, man, it sure beats standing in the bread lines, and it doesn't cost that much. Food right now is readily available. It's still readily available. I really think while the dollar still has some purchasing power, we need to be focused on actually purchasing stuff with it, like durable goods, tangible goods, things that we can touch, like food. Food shortage is coming in 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. It's going to be getting worse. We've seen already that resources are starting to tighten up. It's one of the reasons you see this played out everywhere, from disputes in the South China Sea over territory, game of resources, to banks deciding that lending is going to be determined not just on the hard facts like your credit score and your payment history, but the soft facts like what type of browser are you using and what type of search history do you have and what's your social media history. It's because there's a tightening of resources. If they had lots to give, they'd be less concerned about who they're giving it to. They don't. It's drying up. So knowing that it's drying up and seeing the writing on the wall, I really, really, really want to encourage all of you within the sound of my voice to get serious about food storage. Food storage is the stopgap. It's the cushion. It buys us time in between when there's a hiccup in the system. We can't buy, we can't sell, and maybe it has nothing to do with us. Maybe the system collapses. Not where we're not specifically targeted. It's just, oops, doesn't work anymore. We're already seeing the degradation of just-in-time logistics, right? It's the cushion in between when we can no longer access things readily and when we can start to produce our own things, which is food production, which is agriculture, which is a different video. Or if you subscribe to the idea that it will be a momentary hiccup in the system, but things will come back to normal. Cool. That's fine. The question is, how do you weather that period of time in between things are normal and things return to normal? And I would submit the answer to that is food storage. And so the 4 types of grain, 750 pounds total per person per year, equates to 3,277.18 calories per person per day. And then the 7 meals plan. Identify 7 meals. 7, and we start with dinners. Identify 7 dinners that you can eat out of a can or a box or a jar or whatever, and stock that. And I would recommend strongly as well that you're stocking things that you eat, because I get the question all the time, Bear, what do I do when this stuff goes bad? You should be rotating through it. We eat spaghetti and meat sauce regularly. So as I pull 2 jars of spaghetti and 4 pounds, or 2 jars of sauce and 4 pounds of spaghetti every couple of weeks out of my inventory, I'm going to add that back to my inventory. And right now, I just keep a running mental note of what we've used. Although, again, I'm not shy to use the notes on my phone or write a physical note out. Buy more spaghetti, dumb A. Okay, I will. Thank you, me. Right? So you should be using what you have, and then it never goes bad. And almost everything that comes in a can or a jar or a box will last on your shelf at least a year. So there it is. That's the food storage strategy for 2021. If you're new to preparedness, welcome. Welcome. It's not all tinfoil hats and conspiracy theories here. You don't have to be a crazy person to look around and go, things are a little less reliable than they used to be. And so if things are less reliable than they used to be, that means we need to take more personal responsibility so that we can act rather than be acted upon. I hope this was a blessing to y'all. Share it out to people you think that need to see this. Shalom.